Hello beauties! Today we are gonna talk about the main trends for autumn 2025, from clothes, shoes and bags to accessories. The best part that is everything I will show you is wearable, practical for everyday life, yet with a few unique and interesting touches. So let's get started. By the way, if you're first time on my channel, here I share my life in Switzerland. We talk about beauty, makeup products, fashion and latest beauty news. Don't forget to subscribe, put a like, and let's start. The first section is color, and here there is really lots of varieties, because we can say that autumn is like the beginning of the fashion year. The main color of the season remains brown. Brown has become new black, and honestly autumn is the perfect time for this cozy warm aesthetic. Other key tones include warm tan, golden beige and creamy shades. Among the basic colors, burgundy also stands strong. Yes, it's been at the peak of popularity before, but now it's considered more of a classic one, and this season is the perfect time to wear classic tone again. Looking at the runway show, we can see that the new burgundy is red. Many fashion houses used red in their collections, showing that this shade is moving into spotlight. But if you prefer softer or muted tones, don't worry, they're still with us. Light pink, sky blue, khaki and of course grey. Grey hasn't been so popular recent years, so now by contrast it's making a comeback and looks especially modern. And finally, the main color trend of this autumn is violet. Yes, exactly. From deep purple to light lilac. Right now, this shade is still quite new. A fresh trend that just started to appear in collection and wardrobes. It's like a bit of a fresh air, similar to how butter yellow tones felt at the beginning of the year. Now it's violet's moment. The next main trend, which is now at the peak and definitely won't disappear anytime soon, probably not even next year. It's something that probably seems very basic at first sight, the belts. You can wear belts in many different ways, even as cord-like ties or layered several at once. They can be chunky, minimalistic, worn over light clothing or outerwear. I think everyone can find a variation that suits perfectly for their style. That's why this trend is not the trend that will fade away quite quickly. It's practical, versatile and easy to adapt, which means it's likely to stay with us for a long time. Personally, I really like versions with low-rise waist paired with jeans or skirts and a minimal elegant belt, preferably in a matching tone. I think it looks especially refined. Another trend connected to this idea is emphasizing the waist. This has been with us for a few seasons already and it's still very relevant. We see it in tailored jackets, shirts, blouses and in the overall power suit aesthetic. But there is also something new within this theme, the peplum silhouette. This can appear in corsets, blouses, blazers, vests or long sleeve tops that are more fitted at the top and then slightly flare out at the waist, creating that subtle miniskirt effect. It can be a bright statement or very minimal, almost invisible detail. But the idea of highlighting the waist and celebrating feminine shapes runs through everything this season. I personally see this trend as a great excuse not to tuck your tops into jeans or sweaters or long sleeves. You can leave them to softly frame your hips, giving to your outfit a more balanced shape. Fit it on top and loose a bit below. I think I really like this trend because I'm not a huge fan of oversized clothes, I must admit. The next essential trend is the midi skirt. Yes, exactly. That medium length just above or below the knee, it's incredibly practical trend for autumn. Because during the summer we all enjoy maxi skirts with ballet flats, but now these new midi skirts, they feel like a fresh air a bit, and I think they are much more comfortable for a colder season. Here we see both pencil skirts and those that slightly flare towards the bottom. You can style them in more structured look, for example with a matching blazer or in more relaxed outfit, depending on the skirt's fabric, texture. When it comes to trousers, comfort remains the key, but always with a touch of individuality. We're still seeing wide leg styles, slightly baggy fits, but also classic straight leg cuts, and even flares or banana-shaped trousers making a comeback. The overall idea is balance between ease and elegance, so you can still move freely but still look polished and well put together. Now let's talk about outerwear, one of the key elements of autumn style. One of the main trends this autumn is outerwear with capes or drap details, something like an attached scarf around your neckline. This detail can appear in both trench coats and classic wool coats. You don't necessarily need to buy a new coat. In reality, you can easily just add a scarf in a matching color or even tie one creatively around your shoulders. This kind of styling brings instantly softness and effortlessness to your outfit, something we often miss during the colder months when all those flowing summer dresses are replaced by heavy fabrics. So this trend feels both fresh and practical, perfectly reflecting the overall autumn 25 aesthetic. Speaking of trench coats, aside from the timeless classic version, there is now a strong focus on the medium length, around hip level, or even shorter trench styles. This has become a new element of modern fashion, slightly cropped outerwear that still keeps this elegant trench silhouette. Another outerwear piece that has really captured my heart is a country-inspired jacket, something that feels a bit British countryside in spirit. Usually it features a contrasting color, a different color or texture from the main fabric, which makes it look both practical and stylish. This kind of jacket works beautifully in classic looks, but you can also style it with something more casual and relaxed. A newer trend in outerwear this season is high collar designs, and not only in jackets. Designers have shown also blazers with raised collar, styled as if you've turned them up for warmth, but worn this way unintentionally, even on mild days. If we look on outerwear in general, we can see a general theme. The neck tends to be covered, whether by collars or scarves or structured shapes. However, there is one contrasting trend that stands out, is round necklines without collars. A simple but elegant alternative that looks very modern despite being classic. Among the other pieces, bomber jackets are trending strongly, both oversized and fitted versions. They add that perfect mix of coolness and comfort, fitting right into this season's fashion mood. The next trend, in reality, we can say that came straight from a real life, from influencers, Pinterest boards, and lifestyle fashion blogs. It's so-called tired English girl aesthetic. If you've seen the blogger Lotus t-shirt, you will immediately understand what I mean. This style is about noble fabrics, comfortable, basic, with a slightly whimsical twist. Oversized sweaters, maxi coats, scarves, and all those cozy elements inspired by 2000s rom-com. There is also a touch of vintage charm, effortless, unpolished, and relaxed, yet still refined. It's such a perfect mix of elements that together create this authentic, timeless autumn atmosphere. The next major aesthetic that I could even call epic style of 2025 is Boho Chic. or the bohemian style. In its autumn interpretation, it brings a sense of lightness and movement to seasonal fashion. Think of ruffles, flowy blouses, and fabrics that gently drape. All of these can be easily styled, not only for formal settings like work, university, but also for the evening looks or casual outings with friends. And of course, lace remains very relevant this season. For autumn it can appear long sleeve tops, layered under sweater, or as a subtle accent. I think this layered lace detail, like when you wear a sweater and a bit of a lace peeks out from underneath, has become a new modern classic. I think it reminds me of 2010, but it feels completely renewed, with updated fabrics, colors or textures, and it makes it modern again. So don't be afraid of ruffles or lace, especially if your wardrobe is more classic and minimalist. These details blend beautifully with basic pieces, adding interest and softness without going over the top. Among classic prints, we see a return of stripes, especially thin ones, and also subtle checks, often tone on tone. I think checks in general are such an autumn essential, but it has been slightly forgotten, I think. So now it's a perfect time to bring it back with fresh enthusiasm. We saw a lot of play on the runways of Valentino, Burberry, Miu Miu, each reinterpreting in their own way. Next, let's talk about bags. And one of my favorite trends this year is soft, relaxed and comfortable bags. It all started about a year ago with the rise of the popularity of hobo bags. And honestly, it fits perfectly into today's fashion reality. I think it couldn't have been any other way. So if you're looking for a good everyday bag, I recommend to look to this style. The materials can be very different, from leather to cotton, but the idea remains the same: comfort, versatility, and a touch of effortless chic. Now moving on to the shoes. If we talk about the beginning of the season, while the weather is still mild, most summer styles transition smoothly into autumn, just with small changes. For example, ballet flats are still in fashion, but now they appear in a slightly closed-up versions. There are also new, interesting variations, such as ballet flats with soft soles, sometimes with gentle wrinkles or gather in the material. This may seem like tiny details in reality, but as we all know, it's small details that often start shaping new trends. Classic Mary Jane ballet flats with a stripe are also still relevant and work perfectly for everyday wear. Another great option for autumn days, but maybe a bit colder one, is loafers. Slightly more closed this season. You can go for lace-up style or slip-ons depending on your look, your style. When it comes to sneakers, we are now moving away from chunky soles. Sleeker, more compact silhouette are trendy now. They look neat, sometimes even with a hint of ballet aesthetic. You might have seen that Puma recently released a design that's something between a sneaker and a ballet flat. It looks very fresh and adds interest to a simple outfit without being too bold. In general, brands like Puma and Nike, they have now the most relevant models of the season. As the weather gets colder, boots and ankle boots are coming back, especially skinny fit styles, both shorter and knee-high versions. At the same time, we're also seeing the opposite trend, boots with soft folds and slouchy shapes. Both look stylish, whether you prefer something refined and fitted or voluminous and casual. And personally, I really love the mensuette. It gives this cozy and elegant autumn vibe. Now let's talk about accessories. One of the biggest one this season is actually glasses. Yes, quite simple. For vision, computer glasses, or just as a style accent. And honestly, I really love this trend because myself, I have a bad eyesight, and it also allows girl who has bad eyesight to feel more confident and fashionable. Not like they just wearing it out of necessity. Also, considering how much time I spend in front of screens, it's nice to see that wearing glasses is becoming not only stylish, but also a sign of self-care and awareness of health. So for me, I'm really happy about this trend. What do you think? It's hard to highlight a particular fashionable shape right now of glasses. The best choice, of course, is what suits you and your shape and your face. But I think the most popular option is almond-shaped and soft rounded frames. The second major accessories this season is scarves, of course. And there is a new way of wearing them that's gaining popularity. Tying the scarf that the knot is in front. To keep the balance and the elegance of that look, it's important to choose high quality materials and to match your scarf to your outfit tones so that everything looks harmonious and natural but not forced. And on this note, I will finish this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to put a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which one of these trends is your favorite you would like to try or you are wearing currently. You can also follow me on Instagram to see more of my life in Geneva and on TikTok where you can see more short beauty videos. And see you soon. Happy autumn. Bye.